Roberts. Since 1990, this dazzling movie star is America's girl next door. The versatile actress has a talented repertoire as wide as her signature smile.
I get the romantic comedies and the, dramas and the girl next door and everything.
Born in Atlanta, Georgia on October 28, 1967, Julia Fiona Roberts was Walter and Betty Lou Roberts' third child. Both stage actors, the Roberts ran a children's theater from their home that defied the stringent color lines in the South. Black children were welcome to take part in the plays, including the children of Martin Luther King.
When Julie was small, her big brother Eric and big sister Lisa were both involved with theatre workshops. But finances were really tight, and when Julie was just 4, her parents divorced. 16-year-old Eric moved in with their father, who sold vacuum cleaners to make a living, while the girls moved in with their mother, Bessie Lou, who became a church secretary to make ends meet. Before long, Bessie Lou remarried a man called Michael Motes, and they had another daughter named Nancy. Julie found solace from her shattered family and her love of animals, particularly horses. She spent hours and hours caring for and riding horses, and actually she wanted to be a vet when she was very young. When Julie was only 10, she was delivered another enormous blow. Her father, Walter Roberts, at the age of only 47, died of cancer, a deeply disappointed and disillusioned man.
You know, when we talk about divorce, sometimes we don't take into consideration that it's actually families to divorce. There's the impact on the child, not only of the separation of the parents and the uncertainty that comes with that, but then the introduction of a step-parent. And then when you add to that the death of one of the parents, the impact can just be enormous and sometimes even devastating.
Luckily, Julia started early with a positive attitude in spite of her personal difficulties.
Life evolves and becomes happier and different and kind of takes a different form every day. So I don't measure happiness as a fait accompli, oh, this is the happiest and I'm done, because then there's no reason to get out of bed.
As she grew older, Julie was continually faced with more struggles and problems. Amazingly, looking at her now, she was teased mercilessly by her classmates for her big mouth, thick glasses, and tall, skinny, very lanky build. School was equally hard for Julie academically. Convinced that one of her teachers didn't like her, she actually asked to sit out the class and spend her time in the library, where she just devoured all kinds of books. And it was really here at this time that the seeds were planted for the young girl's love of literature and all things theatrical.
When I'm doing a comedy, I think, oh, you just long for a drama and think it's so much easier. And then you do a drama and you think, comedy is just a breeze. I should be doing a comedy. So it's always what you're not doing is what you long for.
It was big brother Eric who broke through first. The handsome 20-something started in a soap, then appeared in several films, ultimately garnering an Oscar nomination for his supporting role in the 1986 hit Runaway Train.
Julie had just graduated high school. She didn't go on to college, but she decided to move to New York and live with her sister Lisa to pursue her now ambition of becoming an actress. And at that time, she clearly came to terms with that enormous grip, which was soon to become a great asset. She changed her name to Julia when she discovered the name Julie Roberts was already taken in the Screen Actors Guild registry.
Julia's career got started with a little help from her big brother. When Eric Roberts was
Sassy!
in the period piece Blood Red, he convinced the director that his real little sister could play his character's little sister. Julia got the part, but the movie was not widely seen.
Julia finally landed a much meatier role as a bass player in the romantic comedy Satisfaction. Now, also starring in that film was Justine Bateman of Family Ties fame and a little-known actor from Ireland called Liam Neeson. Now, in the film, it was Justine Bateman and Liam Neeson who fall in love, but in real life, it was Julia and Liam who fell for each other, hook, line, and sinker. Even though Liam was much older than Julia, the two were mad about each other and quickly moved in together in Venice, California.
In 1988, Julia auditioned for the classic chick flick Mystic Pizza, but was turned down for being too fair for the Portuguese part. The determined actress dyed her hair black and tried again, this time snagging the role of beautiful but aimless Daisy. Clearly from the beginning, Julia took acting seriously.
When you play a character, you're giving them their one chance at having a life, and I don't want to shortchange anybody.
Mystic Pizza was a hit, but shortly after wrapping, the 21-year-old was struck down by a mysterious illness. No one was really sure what it was, but she was laid up in hospital for a few weeks, and then had to spend several more weeks convalescing under her mother's care. Now, it was during this time that she came across a script she'd previously overlooked. It was Steel Magnolias. Oscar-winning actress Sally Field was so impressed with Julia's talent that she pushed to get her cast as her own Sally's daughter, Shelby, in the film. And of course for Julia it was amazing, starring opposite some real heavy hitters such as Daryl Hannah, Dolly Parton and Shirley MacLaine.
Certainly on all the movies I've done, I've had great opportunities to learn things, whether it be things to do or things not to do. Steel Magnolias was a great environment for that, working with these tremendous women who have all been, making movies for a long time, and they know the ropes and they know what's up and what's down. And so that was a really great learning environment that I really enjoyed. And, with every picture you make, you learn more about what you want to do with making movies.
Julia won a Golden Globe and picked up an Oscar nomination for her efforts in Steel Magnolias. She also picked up a new boyfriend, Dylan McDermott. It wasn't long before the couple became engaged and moved in together.
The next year, 23-year-old Julia was up for the role of a foul-mouthed, drug-addled hooker in a film called 3000. But then the deal fell apart and was taken over by Disney, where director Gary Marshall turned it into a much gentler piece. Retitled Pretty Woman, Disney went after adorable actress Meg Ryan for the lead. Sally Field came to the rescue again and pushed hard for Julia. With her irrepressible charm, Julia blew audiences out of their seats. Made for only $14 million, the film grossed $178 million in the U.S. alone. The new Hollywood it girl won another Golden Globe and was again nominated for an Oscar. All of a sudden, the pretty woman had to handle an onslaught of fame. She took it in stride.
I don't think it's so hard. I think that you make a choice to talk about certain things and make a choice to establish your own personal boundaries and your own comfort zone of what's respectful and what's inappropriate, and just kind of conduct yourself in that way and act accordingly. I think people understand that. I think sometimes people want to just know what the boundary is, and it's not so much that they want to be disrespectful and cross it, they just want to know how far can they go, and at that point, then, back off.
5 days after wrapping Pretty Woman, Julia started work on a spooky thriller called Flatliners, which involved a group of medical students investigating the line between life and death. Off screen, Julia became involved with her co-star, Keith Sutherland, who at the time was actually married and had a daughter. He quickly sought a divorce and got engaged to Julia.
When we come back, Julia plays the role of a real runaway bride.
Reportedly, bad boy Sutherland cheated on his fiancée with a stripper. Julia called off the marriage at the last minute. Bad boy Sutherland cheated on his fiancée with a stripper. Julia called off the marriage at the last minute. The tabloids went into a feeding frenzy, and it was very tough on Julia, who was crushed. She was largely accused of being a runaway bride. It was extremely difficult for the 24-year-old to get through those times, and she had to develop a very thick skin to deal with the media.
There's an enormous interest on the part of the media to create a persona with the celebrity. And sometimes that persona does not align with who the celebrity is. So you have to imagine every step of this person's life is analyzed, is discussed, and even the slightest misstep gets blown way out of proportion.
They don't know me. They're not friends of mine. When you write about a stranger, I would imagine you'd get it wrong most of the time. So it's not a surprise or a disappointment.
But Julia was very disappointed in her former fiancé. However, she immediately ran into the arms of Jason Patrick, Keeper's best friend, in fact. The romance went well for a while, until Julia reportedly got completely sick of her boyfriend's excessive beer drinking habit. Well, she took a 2-year hiatus from acting.
Whenever you make a picture afterwards, you take a little break. So I took my break, and within that break was reading script that didn't appeal to me. So it was really 2 years of looking for the right thing.
The Pelican Brief had to be the right choice for Julia, because novelist John Grisham had actually written the novel with Julia in mind.
Well, you can only prepare to a point for this particular kind of part, and I went down to Tulane Law School before the picture started and went to some classes there and talked to some people and sort of became familiar with that environment, which I knew nothing about, and found it all to be very interesting and could understand the appeal of it to someone like Darby Shaw.
Julia was responsible for choosing her co-star, Denzel Washington.
Just in sort of exploring who my ideas of who Greg Grantham was, I ultimately came up with the idea of Denzel Washington. And what's so funny is that he's so great in the movie that he makes me look like a genius, And all I did was, sort of say, let's get Denzel Washington.
And when co-star Denzel Washington was asked why he accepted the role in Pelican Brief, he didn't hesitate with his answer.
To work with Julia Roberts. When I read the screenplay, I knew right away because I could read it and it felt like 20 minutes. I couldn't wait to get to the next page, so that's always a good sign for me. And then also to work with, I think, one of the great directors is Alex.
The Pelican Brief was a big hit. Meanwhile, in Julia's personal life, there was also a hit. She became involved with quirky actor and singer Lyle Lovett, an unlikely combination. So the two of them met on the set of Robert Altman's indie film The Player, where Julia had a small cameo. The odd couple married on June 25th, 1993, shocking everyone.
Well, we're actually both going to be in another Altman film called Forte. Our storylines don't intersect. I think he does something with Lauren Bacall, and I do something with Tim Robbins. But we were in The Player, both in The Player, so this will be our second movie together, in which we don't speak to one another.
1 year later, in March 1995, those words became more true than intended when the couple split up. They'd been married for less than 2 years. Julia then became involved in a series of actors, including Daniel Day-Lewis and Matthew Perry. She was continuing, of course, to make headlines all over television.
At least on the set of her new film, My Best Friend's Wedding, the actress enjoyed herself immensely.
To have a job where you have a part that you love to play, and you're getting paid a ton of money, and then to go to work and sit around and laugh all day and have a great time with people that you'd hang out with if you weren't working is ridiculous. It's like paradise to me.
But just because it's like paradise doesn't mean the work is easy.
The first time I read it, and I thought, oh, this is great. I'd love to make this movie. This is fabulous. And I read it again, and I think, oh, this is going to be kind of tricky. And then I read it again, and I think, oh, wow, this is going to be really hard, And there were some really complex moments.
Co-stars Cameron Diaz and Dermot Mulrooney were impressed.
Oh, it was fantastic to watch her. She's got such an ability for physical comedy. It was a lot of fun to watch that. It was really great.
Well, Julia's an incredibly dedicated actress, and I think why she's able to maintain that is that she's had a lot of experience at the pressure that Hollywood can put on people ever since a couple of her big films. So if nothing else, she's accustomed to it and handles it extraordinarily well. And it doesn't intrude on the work process at all.
My Best Friend's Wedding was another smash hit. She was also deliriously happy in her private life because she met a new man in her life, Benjamin Bratt, in a restaurant in 1997. And she actually says that she felt like she'd been hit over the head. The two of them became an item almost immediately. Meanwhile, the 30-year-old was busy starring in The Conspiracy Theory with another Hollywood heartthrob, Mel Gibson.
I sort of love that he's my pal because he's a really nice man, and as an actor he's incredibly supportive and generous and really works hard, really wants to get the most out of what he's doing.
She's very generous. It's a lot of fun. She's really talented. I mean, she fed me, you know, and I tried to do the same for her. But she's very intelligent. You gotta really be on your mettle to keep up with her.
Even though Julia turned down the lead role in Shakespeare in Love that won Gwyneth Paltrow an Oscar, 1998 and 1999 saw two more hits for the pretty woman. The drama Stepmom with Susan Sarandon and the romantic comedy Notting Hill opposite Hugh Grant.
I was happy to be in England last year with Roger and Michelle doing Notting Hill, which was really fun. It's fun going away. It's like having a working holiday.
Also in 1999, Julia's fans finally got another taste of the original star-making recipe pairing the actress with Pretty Woman co-star Richard Gere. Runaway Bride was a perfect script for a rematch of actors and director Gary Marshall.
The three of us finally found a script that we all liked, and we were all available to do it, which is the real feat, is being free to make it. And we just decided it was time.
In the 10 years that had passed since Pretty Woman, Julia recognized some changes for the better that had come with age.
I'm a grown-up person. 10 years is my 20s. So the difference between being 20 and being 30 is quite dramatic and fantastic. And I think that I'm a more valuable person to work with now than I probably was 10 years ago.
The knockout box office returns were proof that Julia and Richard's screen chemistry was as strong as ever. And then Julia decided to switch gears and take a part in a film based on the true story of a woman named Erin Brockovich.
It's about a single mother with 3 children and this journey that she takes as she starts working as a secretary at a law firm and uncovers an injustice.
Up next, Julia breaks a record.
For this role, Julie was paid $20 million, becoming the highest paid actress by far in Hollywood.